What's up guys, it's Cameron. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you all about my freshman experience at University of Florida. So, I just wrapped up my first year at UF and I had a great time. UF is a phenomenal school. I'm very fortunate to go there. I believe the rankings right now, it's the number 8 public school in the nation and the number 35 school in the nation just nationally out of all public and private institutions. So very fortunate that I got in and to attend there. So just kind of a background on me, if you haven't seen my other videos. In high school I was always a good student, I was in the right classes, got good grades, was super involved with sports and clubs, things like that. My test scores to get into UF were pretty much average for UF, so I'm 100% a believer that it's my extracurriculars that got me in. I have videos about that as well. So that's kind of just a background so you kind of know my experience going into college. So first I'm going to kind of run down the social side of UF and kind of just my college experience, and then after that I'll talk about the academic side because both are extremely important and both go into kind of your decision for where you want to go to college. So for me, I'm very fortunate. UF is very strong in both of those aspects. I just saw a kind of a graph from Barstool, I believe, that showed the rankings of colleges based on academics and based on the party scene, and UF was pretty much at the top for academics and the party scene, so it doesn't get much better than that. So I'm going to start off with the social aspect of UF. It is very Greek-centric at UF. Greek life plays a huge part in the social life of the campus. So I know a lot of schools, they kind of either have house parties, they're more focused on that, or they're more of kind of bars. UF is kind of a mix of both. But with the house parties, it's just, fraternities throwing the house parties. So obviously, guys from outside the fraternities can't go to those parties. And I thought that was just a normal thing. But apparently at other schools, guys from other frats can go to other frat parties, things like that. Like, that's completely normal. That's certainly not the case at UF. So it is very vital that you are part of a fraternity. I wouldn't say you have to be, but if you want to have a strong social life and just meet a lot of people, fraternities and sororities certainly do help. I know the whole thing about paying for friends and things like that, but in the grand scheme of things, it is 100% worth it. I mean, these become your brothers. It's great. I mean, no matter what, you're gonna have a ton of new friends, which really helps you in the long run at school. So, as you know, I did join a fraternity, had a great time. During pledging, it was hard. It was very time consuming and a little stressful, but once I got through with that, I was very happy. At UF, the tailgates are huge. It's a SEC school. UF has a great tradition for its football program, one of the best programs in the nation. And this year we were very fortunate that we ended up being number 8 in the nation again, ironically. So the tailgates were amazing. I looked forward to them like Christmas morning. Sadly, I was still pledged during all of the tailgates, but they were still extremely fun. It was a whole new environment for me, and just the excitement on campus. UF, the streets would all shut down. People from all over the state would come to tailgate, and obviously at the fraternity house we would have a huge party with plenty of people. And we were right across the street from the stadium, which was super nice because everyone would end up at our place and then we'd all walk over there together, and it was like a 30-second walk, which is very nice that time of day because it's 200 degrees out and 100% humidity. So if you're not really in a fraternity, the only option you have is to go out to the bars, and that's fine, that's fun. That's not really my thing, just because I personally don't like spending the money. To get into the bars, you might have to pay $20, things like that, and then that's not even covering drinks if you are over the age of 21. So that was never really my thing, but of course, I still was dragged along several times. Not that it really took too much effort to drag me along, but I wanted to be fully immersed in the college experience, and I felt like I was. I really had a great time, met a lot of people, had a lot of fun. So yeah, that was definitely my first semester. Did a lot. Second semester, I'll get to it later, but I really kind of distanced myself from kind of the party scene. I was more committed to my schoolwork and academics, but I still would go out occasionally. So all in all, UF is a phenomenal party school. The kids there certainly do know how to have fun, and there's really no limits on the things you can do there. There are plenty of options for whatever it is you want to do as far as, the party scene. And again, Alachua County, which is where it is a nice part of Florida. There's plenty of places to hike, and there's lakes and things like that, if that's more your interest. So there are plenty of things to do all around the area if you really have the time and the money to do those things. So now getting into the second side of college, which is a little bit less fun, is academics. UF is a great academic school, like I mentioned earlier, and honestly, it was a huge adjustment from high school. It was super hard. I didn't go to like an easy high school. I went to an A school in Naples, Florida, where everyone, is pretty smart. It's mostly middle, upper class. So there is a lot of competition, and I felt like I was somewhat prepared for college. I always took the right classes, APs, honors, things like that. So I felt like I was ready. I was always taking the college courses in high school, so I felt I was prepared. But I would soon find out I was extremely wrong. I'm sure you can see other videos about it, but just college courses in general are very different in their structure from high school classes. Just college in general, you have so much more responsibility and freedom, and that can really hurt you at times if you're not good at managing your time and kind of your responsibilities. So for me, I really struggled in some of the classes just because I wasn't keeping on track with all of the work and all of the lectures and things like that. It kind of got out of hand, and I certainly struggled. I'm not going to try to sugarcoat things or anything like that. It was not easy for me at all. I took calculus in college. I took it my senior year of high school, and I still really struggled. I passed it, but it was not easy, and it really did change a lot of my plans moving forward as far as my coursework in college. I did it in addition to calculus. I took Discovering the Universe, which is astronomy, and that was very hard just because obviously the professor knew a lot more than us, and so he would talk a lot, give a spiel, and a lot of it just went in one ear and out the other. It was very challenging to stay focused, and the exams were hard because he didn't give us a study guide or anything really. We were just going into the exams blind. So first semester got over with. It was a huge adjustment from high school. My GPA did dip quite substantially, but that's because I really was getting adjusted just with the social life, the social aspect, being in the fraternity, and just kind of having all the new responsibility on me. I ended up with a 3.3 GPA, which in the grand scheme of things is pretty good when you consider that a 3.0 is a B average. But I've never been a B average student or anything like that in my life, so it was kind of just like a shock to me and to my ego. When I came home for Christmas break, I surrounded myself with very successful people, not just adults, but my friends. They all go to great schools other than the kids who go to FSU, and they were all doing very well. They all play sports too, so it's like I couldn't imagine, but they were all coming back. We were obviously talking about our school, talking about our grades. We'd be playing spike ball, and they'd ask me what my GPA was, and I would say I ended up with a 3.3, and of course they're getting 4.0s, things like that. And so I felt kind of below them and inferior to them, and that was definitely a new feeling for me. I never liked feeling inferior, and after that, I fully committed myself to my academics, and I knew that I would sacrifice whatever it took to ensure that I got as good grades as possible. So I went into the second semester with this newfound motivation to get good grades, and I just kept it going. I just made sure to stay on track of all my classes, watch all the lectures, which was a foreign ideology for students at UF. A lot of the kids are obviously very smart, so they don't need to watch all the lectures, but I really just was going to do whatever it took to ensure that I knew everything that was going on in the class and was prepared as well as I could be for the exams. I really had to adjust my study habits, things like that. In high school, they were pretty much non-existent, and first semester was really the first time I was ever studying, and so I was still kind of, you know, dipping my feet in the water, feeling it out. And I remember one time one of my friends came into town. They left on Sunday afternoon, so then I started studying for my exam that was Tuesday, and I thought that that was like a substantial amount of time. I was like, this is way too much time, I'm perfectly fine. But second semester I started studying for my exams a week out. So I was very fortunate that I made that change, and it really made a big change on my grades, as I'm sure you would expect. There is quite the linear correlation when it comes to hours spent studying and final exam grades. So it didn't really come as a shock, but it did feel good. But in doing this, it really did take a hit on my social life, and not only the social aspect, but it really hurt my gym life too. Obviously, I'm very committed to the gym now, and I was, you know, last year, things like that. But really, during that second semester, I was studying so much for my classes, I just didn't find the time to go to the gym, and it really did hurt me, because I am a firm believer that the gym and physical activity does help you immensely, not just physically but mentally, and that it was hard for me not going to the gym for such a long time. But after a while, I finally kind of got my groove and really made it a priority to go to the gym. I made it my second priority after my academics. So like I mentioned, I finally was getting A's on my exams, which did not happen at all my first semester. And people say it all the time, but success is addictive. Once I got that first A, I knew I wanted to keep that A. I wasn't going to give that A up. I kind of just rid that wave for the rest of the semester. It was super stressful. Final exams are an extremely stressful time, just because you slip up slightly on an exam and there goes your A. If I got a B on an exam, there goes my A. Things like that. It's very stressful. So you really want to make sure you put in as much time as possible, and that is what I did. All in all, I finished my semester with 1 A- and all other A's. The A- came in a class called Intro to Public Speaking, which you would think I would do well on. You wouldn't think it would be a hard class, but as I'm sure you can tell, very used to just talking a ton and excessively and not really having too much structure, and that's not the way to do it in public speaking. So struggled in that a little bit. I mean, I still got an A-, but that was the 1 A-, and it really hurt my ego. I wanted the 4.0. I was committed to 4.0. So that kind of hurt, but it was okay. Got A's in all my other classes, which was very rare. You know, it was a big deal for me. I was super proud of myself. I ended the semester with a 3.93 GPA, which is a substantial increase from the 3.3 my first semester. In the end, it evened out my overall GPA for UF to 3.64, which is a lot better, obviously. And obviously, I don't plan on just sticking with that. I plan on continually improving it and getting it better moving forward. Especially for me, I want to go to law school. Your undergraduate GPA plays a huge role in where you can apply and what your chances are of getting in, just like, you know, your high school GPA would be. So yeah, second semester was really good for me, just because it proved to me that hard work does pay off. For a while in my life, I felt like I didn't always believe that. With basketball, I felt like I always was really working hard, but it didn't always pay off. And in other aspects of my life too, I was putting in a lot of effort but didn't always see the results. So for this to finally kind of come into fruition and to work out for me, I really just kind of changed my perspective on life, and I feel that I'm able to accomplish anything that I put my mind to and I put time into and hard work into. So I look forward to the future, and it's really just helped me a lot. I work a lot harder now here that I'm home at work. Not necessarily on YouTube right now because I have other things going on, but it really did change my perspective and helped me a lot. Just I feel moving forward with my life. So all in all, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's super long. It did get personal at times, but I want to share it with you guys. I want to share my experience, and at the same time, this is also for me. I want to be able to look back on this video years from now and kind of rehash some memories from college, even though I obviously didn't share too many things. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys have any questions at all, please DM me on Instagram. That'll be the easiest way to reach me. My Instagram is @Galbraith. I respond to all the DMs. I've had a lot of people ask me questions before. I'm eager to help. I want you guys to have as good of an experience as possible wherever you guys go to college, or if you need any help with anything at all, I'll be here for you. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll try to start putting out more content, maybe some more UF stuff, because I do have a lot of other things to add to it and kind of just different perspectives. So I'll probably do that. Also because the UF videos just seem to do really well on my channel. But yeah, if you guys have any questions at all, DM me. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.